What's up guys, it's F2 Dave. Today we're going to talking about the Martyr Bomber. In this video, I'll show you what makes it special, which officers you should run, the best training skills, and the exact gear setup to unlock its full potential. Let's get into it. The Martyr Bomber is designed to bombard armored units. That means tanks on land and ships at sea. Its main job is simple: destroy heavy targets. There are several ways to use it, and most players only use one. Let's break them down. The most basic way is simple. You send the Martyr Bomber to bombard armored units on the battlefield. Any exposed tank, any frontline armor, any armored ship. You keep applying pressure. You force the enemy to react. Now here is a big advantage over the Liberty Bomber. The Martyr Bomber follows its target. It keeps bombing the same unit. The Liberty Bomber does not do that. If you want a full breakdown of the Liberty Bomber, click the card above. I linked my Liberty Bomber guide there. But back to the Martyr Bomber. This tracking mechanic makes it much more reliable in chaotic fights. In the right setup, the Martyr Bomber can briefly immobilize enemy units. This is extremely strong, especially for tank mains. You can trap a unit. Here's how it works. You disable the enemy tank. You move your own field tanks into position. You focus fire. You eliminate the target. And here's the interesting part. For this playstyle, you do not need a fully trained bomber. Even a nearly untrained Martyr Bomber can be enough to create that opening. The third way to use the Martyr Bomber is base defense. If an army group attacks your base, you immediately target the super heavy tank that hits you first. You focus it down. You destroy it faster. That reduces pressure, and it buys you time. In coordinated defense, this can change the entire fight. So the Martyr Bomber is not just a damage unit. It is an anti-armor specialist, a control tool, and a defensive asset. It all depends on how you build it. Next, let's talk about the officers you should use for the Martyr Bomber. In my opinion, the #1 bomber officer for the Martyr Bomber is Ol Stach. With his tactical skill, he can trap the target for up to 2 seconds. That means during one full bombing run, he can repeatedly trap a fleeing tank or a fleeing ship. So if the target tries to escape, it gets stopped again and again. On top of that, he deals very solid damage. That combination makes him extremely strong for this unit. The second best option next to Ol Stach is Dawn Striker. She also delivers very strong damage. If you want a more damage-focused setup, she is a great choice. Now I mentioned this earlier, but I want to explain it more clearly. You can also run this combination in a weak setup. That means your bomber is not heavily trained. In that case, the bomber alone will not destroy much. But when you combine it with your field tanks and the trapping effect, it gives you a strong advantage. For example, if light tanks are near your base trying to kill your reserves, you can trap them. Then you move your own field tanks into position. Even slower MBTs can catch and destroy them. The key here is timing. If you time the trap correctly, you secure the kill. That's what makes this setup so powerful. Now let's talk about the training skills. In general, it's similar for almost every unit. It doesn't matter if it's air or land. The goal is always the same: maximize damage. Let's start with Ol Stach. He gets a special skill. In this case, we use the special skill from Brisk Eagle. This skill increases the crit damage of this officer's troops by 50%. That is a massive boost, especially for a burst unit like the Martyr Bomber. Next, we need a strong damage skill. Since I play the Martyr Bomber together with tanks and helicopter bombers only, I use the skill from El Cartero. Of course, you can use any other high damage skill if it fits your setup. The important thing is that it boosts your overall damage output. Now let's move to Dawn Striker. She also gets a strong damage skill. Prioritize raw damage increase. And finally, give her a balanced type skill, one that increases both damage and resistance. This way, you push your total damage while still keeping some survivability. With this setup, you guarantee the highest possible damage output for your Martyr Bomber. And finally, let's talk about gear. What gear should you use to unlock the full potential of your Martyr Bomber? Let's start with Ol Stach. For him, we use the Silver Star handgun. This gear gives the unit more firepower and more HP. But the most important part is this: it boosts the normal attack. And starting at level 5, it also slows the enemy down. That slow effect is extremely strong. Combined with the trap from Ol Stach's tactical skill, it gives you even more control. You stop the target, you slow the target, and you keep bombing it. That combination makes it very hard for enemy tanks or ships to escape. Now let's talk about Dawn Striker. For her, we use the military map. It also boosts the normal attack, and it provides an HP boost. That means more consistent damage output and slightly better survivability. Simple, effective, and optimized for pressure. So to summarize everything, this is the setup that allows you to get the maximum potential out of your Martyr Bomber. The right officers, the right training skills, and the right gear. If you combine all of that, you turn the Martyr Bomber into a serious anti-armor threat on land and at sea. If this guide helped you, make sure to like the video. Subscribe to the channel for more breakdowns and optimized builds. This is F2 Dave, and I'll see you in the next one.